I thought I'd jabber at you for a bit. I just got home from work. I tried to do this in the truck on the way home, and having a standard shift in there, I really got to get something to mount the camera on in there. I could probably tape it to the dash or something like that. One of the problems is if I tape it to the dash, then either you're not going to see me or I'm not going to see you, depending on where I put the tape. So I thought, well, I'll just do it when I get home, then that'll be easier. A lot of times I use the camcorder, but the sound doesn't transmit as well. It doesn't. Maybe the microphone isn't quite as good or whatever. But my last video, I mentioned the fact that I really have a vision for free campsites and stuff like that. Well, they're out there. I've been researching, and you can find them at State Land. I found a area here because I've been, looking for another place to camp. The place I was going at, everybody else at camp had pretty much left. They didn't agree with the owner's rules and things like that, so their ultimate choice was just not to go back there. And I was one of the last ones camping there, and we all had our own area that others couldn't camp there if we were there. We had those rights, which was pretty nice. There was a lot of good things. It wasn't all bad. There was a lot of good things. One of the things was it was by a swamp, which made for some good photos sometimes and stuff. But boy, it was annoying as all get out because of the mosquitoes and other bugs and stuff like that down there. And so it just wasn't real enjoyable that way. That's one of the reasons I liked winter camping there. No bugs. That's the benefit. But yeah, looking around, and we got State Land out here. I used to go down to State Land in Pennsylvania, Colton Point State Park, and there's a canyon down there they call PA's Grand Canyon. It's not as big as the real Grand Canyon, but it's pretty big. A buddy of mine and I used to go down there. We hired a pilot one time to fly us over that, and I got some pictures from the air from that, so it's pretty neat. We used to go camping down there. That's back when our kids were young, and we used to take the kids down there camping. We could do some hiking and stuff like that. And one of the things that we used to do was play hide and seek after dark. And my girls were little then, and they had some fear of the dark. And I had them on the weekends. And I had them for holiday weekends during the summer so I could take them camping, because I was divorced, after a while. And so that's when I had them. And I would take them out there and help overcome their fear of the dark, And I came up with, hide and seek after dark. I gave them each a flashlight, And my youngest one, we were walking down one of the dirt roads, and she was kind of crunched down looking around, and she says, "Daddy, are there bears out here?" And I says, "Yes, there are, but they're afraid of us." And she goes, "Oh, good." I happen to know that particular location. There used to be a bear there that was kind of a nuisance, but the park rangers had taken it out, so it was a safe place to camp with my little kids. And but I wanted them to feel confident. There always was a chance a bear could come along from somewhere else, And but it was interesting, so I would spend time with them like that, and they overcame the little fears and stuff as I explained things, and it was real enjoyable. But so the place I was camping that I was calling Camper Howell was about 75 miles from here. And it's a little bit of a hike just for a overnight or a weekend trip. And I thought, boy, I'd like to get something close. I'd like to get something 2 miles away, because I'm pretty much almost in the country anyway. We have a wildlife refuge out here, and you go shoot your guns out there. You can go hunting, you can go fishing, stuff like that. But there's no camping, so that's a problem, because that's not real far from here. And I would go camping out there if I could. and it might be a good spot to go. You know, once I get a kayak to go out there, and that would be good. But there's another spot about 45 miles from here, and it's state land, and you can stay up to 3 nights without a permit. You can stay 14 nights with a permit, 14 nights, and so I thought that's pretty decent. That gives you a couple weeks, close to a couple weeks. You know, I would get the permit. I would stay for my first 3 nights without a permit, and then I would get a permit for another 14 nights, something like that. Because you figure if you're staying weekend at each end of your 14 days, you actually end up like over a week. If you go out on a Friday night and you stay there for that whole week and then come back the following Sunday, you're actually 9 days. So your 14 days is only going to carry you to a Friday before you have to get out. So I would get my 2 free days in on the weekend, and then I would have the permit dated for that following Monday, something like that, you know. So that would work out, you know, and I could stay 2 weeks with 3 weekends in there, and that would be, you know, when I get some time to do that. I've taken, you know, 2-week vacation sometimes. It's been a while. I think it was 2006 the last time I did that, and I drove halfway across the country and back, or further than that actually. I was in Colorado, Denver, and then went down to a little town in Kansas for a couple days and come back through. I thought I stopping in Topeka, but I didn't, and I just kept going. There's somebody else I knew out there, but I said, time's running a little short. And I went out on Interstate 80, came back on 70. That was a pretty nice trip. But anyway, so this one is on state land where I'm thinking of camping. I want to take a drive out there first, and I'm going to take a little bit of gas, but not as much as the other spot. You know, the other spot I would burn half a tank of gas. You know, and with the gas prices the way they were, you know, that was, you know, it was a big expense, especially when, you know, you're tight of money like I am. And I've had to downsize. You know, the recession really, you know, kicked me in the tail. I mean, I had my own drywall company, and I had that for about 8 years. And what killed that was the insurance. I mean, I was surviving, I was working, but I couldn't pay the comp. And it's something I can't even use. You know, it went up to like $4,000 a year. I said, no sense in me buying that, you know. So I went back to work for a company I've been working with for a long time. I subcontracted for them too. I started with them as an employee, and I've been with them, you know, 15 years now. And I had a couple other accounts besides them too, because when I started my own company, you know, there was 2 owners, and one of them asked me if I was still going to do work for them. And I said, oh, absolutely. And so I mean, I was subcontracting for another sub, you know, which, you know, really chops the penny down to, you know, not much. But I thought I'll give it a try. I had work from one general contractor. I put up a decent website, and he found that and contacted me through there. I didn't get a lot of work for him. He was a remodeling contractor, and he would call me in for the bigger jobs. You know, the smaller ones he'd have his guys do them, but the bigger ones that they couldn't handle, he'd bring me in for them, and I'd knock them out for him. It was a pretty good count. You know, he paid. You know, I get done usually. There was one time I had to wait a week or something like that, but that's not bad. And pretty decent guy. Was a father and his son, so it was good. Then there was another guy that was actually retired, but and got out of another company he was in and started another company, so he had something to do, and I do work for him on occasion, and so it was pretty good. But the insurance was just beating me up, so I gave it up, took a job, and downsized everything. You know, I had a good sized house, 2-story, 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and I had like a double porch, one down and one up. It was kind of nice. So out of my master bedroom upstairs, I could walk out, you know, balcony out there. Big. It was actually a porch more than it was a balcony. So it was pretty nice. Had laundry room up there, my own bathroom, stuff like that. But that I had to get rid of all that, and I just live in a little place now. Just very small, 400 square feet. That's about it. And so it's not much here, and it's comfortable. But and I'm even tight on paying the bills here. I'm gonna have to borrow money to, get the rent covered this month. It's just the way things are going, and a lot of people, in the same boat. Some people are in, worse shape than that. The recession really changed a lot of things, even for my boss. They've had to downsize. They got rid of their office space. One of them has another business, and he had another room available. They put the drywall company's office in there, and one of the owners is planning on getting out of it, and the one that's going to keep it going, he built he bought another property and put up a garage where he's going to build another house eventually, and may be in the process of that now, but put up a big garage there. So when the other owner heads out, because they're renting space, and so all that stuff will come out of there and go in his garage, so they don't have to pay, rent on that stuff. And it's impacted everybody. And I've been watching videos on YouTube that just, one guy there, I mentioned that in the last videos, $600 a month. He's got a pickup truck and a makeshift trailer, and he survives, and he's just got real good attitude about everything too, it seemed when I watched him in the video. And everybody's just doing the best they can do. So hopefully from my end, I'm going to have more information on the campfire community on camperhollow.com. I've got some links up there now. I'm working on more because I want to get the information out there, gather this information, put it there. So I would say register on there so you receive this news and information for people, especially for people that are living in a van, living in an RV, and you're traveling around. I'm going to have links on there, more information about where to go, where you can stay, so you don't have to worry about finding a nice spot and then middle of the night getting kicked out of there or something like that. I'm going to try to get up a lot of information so that van dwellers, RV dwellers, they can pretty much just know right where to go. Whether you get your internet on your laptop or smartphone, you can log in there, and the campfire community will work on your smartphone just fine. And you can log in there and get this information and just find out exactly where you're going. Now the Walmarts, I may have mentioned before, even though it's commonly known, you can stay at a Walmart. It's not true about all of them. There is a website that shows which ones you cannot stay at, so I've got information there about that, and that'll show you more too. So I'm hoping that that's all helpful for everybody, and I'm digging for more. And there's already a lot of stuff going on. Tiny homes in places they're not legal, they're building them, living in them part-time, because they want to get the code enforcement people to acknowledge that these are sustainable living dwellings, and that's what they're working on. So there's a lot of people out there, besides me, I'm realizing, that have this kind of vision, and we need this, not only in the third world countries, we need this in America. Unfortunately, and I've got, Filipino friends that, they find it hard to believe that there's people in America that have to live small. I'm one of them, I just barely get by. And, granted, I am fortunate, I am blessed, I'm not, down in life. I thank the Lord for the things I have, but, I really have had to downsize, and, but it's good. I was talking to a pastor about it one time. He said, I think you'll be happier, and, I do everything, do everything from here. I have, several computers because as you know, I have a web hosting company, and I also operate an online ministry. I'm an overseer of a new ministry, They started that a couple years back. We got, I don't know, 30, 40 people on it, or 20 or 30, something like that anyway. Um, and that's all online right now, and I was hoping to establish home-based fellowships, you know, because there's a lot more of that popping up, and it's more true to the original body of Christ than, you know, the mainstream Christianity is out there, and these, you know, government-controlled churches. So a lot of people are realizing that that's not really what the structure was in the early congregation. That, you know, it wasn't, you know, formed under the government. It was spiritual in nature only. So a lot of people are coming back to that, and that's something I do, you know. And I've got several websites out there for that. I've got, you know, a directory that lists churches and things like that. So I'm pretty busy on my computers, you know, when I get home from drywall work and stuff like that. And that I'm always digging up, you know, information, and I'm gonna start posting more here for the campers and the people that live off grid and things like that. So hopefully this will all be beneficial to everybody viewing. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.